Let me share my screen. Okay, so I hope you guys can see my screen. Okay, so today's topics are this TestNG parameterization, right? Then after listeners and this data provider annotation, right? So first of all, I will start with the parameterization. So suppose this is our project is amazon.com, right? So this is a common URL, right? So every time when we have to perform some test case, we have to use this common URL. Suppose I want to use test this card functionality, right? So if I'll come here to check whether cart is properly working or not, I have to first this common URL for this cart, right? So for every thing this is common URL. So suppose every time we will not use this the driver dot get and amazon.com, right? So we have to pass it from somewhere common place. So we will pass this attribute from testng file. Okay, so let me come to that first. So from today we are still working in the Maven, right? So we will be working in Maven only. This here, let me come to this testng.xml file, and after this suite, if you want to ask pass any parameter, right? So you can pass from here. Here you have to give two values. Name is equal to by the name which you want from which you want to get inside your test case file, right? And value, because I want to give amazon.com, right? So https and then www. Not only this URL, you can pass any attribute, right? So anything you want to pass that you consider as a common inside whole your project, so you can pass it to suite level, right? So this I am passing to suite level, right? If you want to pass separately for a test folder, then you can define this parameter inside this right here. And if you have multiple test folders, then you can create multiple test folders first and then pass them inside test level only, right? This totally depends upon what level you want to pass your parameter, right? So I want to pass a suite level just because I know that website some common URL is this, and after this whatever you want to include you can include in your code, right? So as per your requirement. But if you are working with the cart, you can include their cart. If you are working with the registration, you can include this registration there, right? So but this is your common URL that you will get with this parameter, right? So if I want to pass something, yes, now how will you get this inside your project? Suppose this is regression test and I just make a class for get param, right? Example, and here suppose I have a test case in which I want to get it at the rate test void get param, and how will you get this? Just use this small brackets and then after parenthesis and double quotes whatever name you have given in your testng.xml file. Sorry, not this way, not here. Above this you have to declare at the rate parameter notation, the rate parameters, right? And inside this you have to this, and then like this, and whatever you name you have given here you have to pass this, right? So suppose I have given here URL, right? So I will pass URL. Now this way you can get the parameter, right? And you have to define any variable here inside this parameter place, right? So string URL, whatever you want to give name for this string variable, and just print this. So suppose any requirement is there to pass as a common inside whole project, so you can pass that as a parameter, right? So this I have passed, and how will you get that? Just use the @parameters annotation and give the name which you have given to your testng.xml file here @param, right? And now run it from testng. Okay, I have not included my class here, right? So that's why I didn't get that result. We have to include this class, right? So see, just go to get paramex and then class name is equal to package integration dot class name. Now right, see amazon.com, right? This is printed, and whatever else is printing just because of previous code, right? So we have passed this parameter. So if you want to remove this and see all the things, then just remove this classes comment and then run it, right? So what happened, this parameter was passed and this value was passed. You came here, you get this URL name and the parameter name, and you have printed this, right? So this way you can get the parameter inside your code. Okay, so this is about parameterization in testng. Now I'll start listener topics. So what are listeners? So listeners basically tell you that either your test case was fail, pass, skipped, or the when your test case was start. If you want to provide some timings that after this you have to fail, then listener provide this functionality. See, suppose we have 1,000 of test cases, right? We have 1,000 test cases, and I want that after every test failure, right? Suppose in I have to test these 1,000 of test cases, and somehow 20 test cases fails, right? So I want that after every test failure, just capture the screenshot. So testng provide us a method on test fail, right? So it will be automatically called once your test case failed, and write here screenshot code, right? You can write here capture screenshot code, right? So suppose your test case failed, and also this method will be telling you which method was failed, right? So this mechanism is provided by testng listeners, right? So let's start working with them. Let me create a package first, and inside I will create a listeners class, right? This listener class will implement iTest listeners, right? This is interface that you have to implement, right? And you have to call this right? So you have included a package, right? Now after that, right click here, go to source, and then override implement methods, right? Now see, test listener has on finish, on start, on test failed but within success percentage, on test failed with timeout, on test failure, on test skipped, on test start, on test success. So these much methods are provided by TestNG. Somehow we are interested, suppose we select all, right? Just go and remove this code which is responsible for giving error as of now, right? Because we are understanding only listener and not interested in this. See, I want that after every test success, this method should invoke test success, right? And after every test failure, I want that capture screenshot, right? In future we'll write a screenshot capturing code here, because when your test case fails, that we want to collect some information, right? So just like here on test failure, I want to capture a screenshot, right? So once my test case is failing, then I will be capturing the screenshot. When my once my test case passed, then you want to perform any task here after passing, then you can collect the method name and how much time it took, and whatever you want to do after every test pass, you can do here, right? So these, you can say, these listeners are your soul of the TestNG, right? TestNG is a body and listeners are the soul. Why? Just because test and only listener will be telling you that your test case was failed, right? So suppose I started thousands of executions, and I tell that after every test failure you have to capture a screenshot and perform this task, give this message. You can write here after every test pass you have to perform some task, then you can give here. Okay. So see, I have this get param x. Suppose I have this method, right? Here I have another method, suppose I had the rate test and why my test fail here. This is a method, you can give any name to it. Suppose this is void add two numbers, right? And then int a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6, then sys out a plus b, right? If a plus b is equal to 10, then you have to perform some task like result dot is pass here true, right? So because a plus b is not equal to 10, so it will be not coming here. So you can give result dot result true, and here you can give false. So this test case will fail because a plus b is equal to 11, right? And it will not go inside because 11 is not equal to 10, right? So it will go to else part. We are expecting true, but we'll be getting false, right? So this test case will fail. So here I want to give a message. Let's see out a plus b is equal to 11, not 10. So we understand that once my test case will pass, we'll getting this message, right? So come to this testng.xml file, and we have already included this getParam, right? This getParam class, right? Inside this getParam I have this method. once this method will fail Once this method will fail, then automatically this will call listeners, right? Because listeners will understand that okay, test case was failed, right? Then it will invoke automatically on test failure method, right? But how this test ng know that there are listeners in picture? That that listeners will only work if we will give information about that them, right? So you have to give here, just copy this so no syntactical mistake. Class name listener, right? Class package name that you have to give here, package name is listeners, right? And then class name is your this get param, sorry, class name is listeners, right? So it's also correct. Here inside listeners, this is extra one. See, here it has to close, right? Then see, listeners, you have to give information where your listener class resides in, right? And in which package. Just like you give name for class name, package name dot class name, right? Similarly, you have to give here as well. If you will not include this, then listener will not be working. Now you told your test ng that you have listener in your project and location is this. Once any test case passes, fails, on whatever method you want to use of the listener, then you have to give information here. Now if you will run this test case, see, first of all, 11 is for what? Your regression dot get param run, right? So it went to get param method. Okay, by default this method will run first, right? So this was not run first because this a is coming first as a alphabetical order, right? So that's why if you are 100, so it will be running on alphabetical order. Now see, this method run and it came to else part, that a plus, first of all it came to this and then 11 was printed. From where this 11 came? Yeah, yeah, this I have used here, right? So it came 11, right? And then this line executed just because else part executed, right? So it came here, 11 a plus b is equal to 11, not 10, right? Now instantly this test case failed, right? Once this test case failed, then listeners came in picture, right? It automatically went here. On test failure method will be executed, and on test failure says capture screenshot, right? So screenshot suppose captured, right? Then its task completed, right? This method task completed. Then what happened? Then this method will be executed, right? And it will get the parameters, and just it has first printed the parameter, right? So it printed the parameter which I have passed amazon.com, and then test was success, this test case was success. So automatically on test success method executed, right? So it printed test success, right? So this way listener works. If you have one another test case here, and then again that test case will be executed and test success will be called. So After every test success, we don't use this. We use this method in some critical situations when we run with some blocks, right? Suppose we are running 5 to 10 test cases, right? So this is use case. If you want to run for 100, it will run for 100 test cases, doesn't matter, right? So this way listener works. Okay, this is about listeners. Anybody wants to ask anything? Okay, so now I'll coming to this data provider annotation. This is last topic of your test ng. So see what we need of this data provider annotation. Suppose I have a requirement that I have 50 username and password, right? And I want to test all the 50 username and password are correct or not. So will I write 50 test cases for that, or I will write one test case and write and run it 50 times? These are two ways. By no, both are incorrect. See, 50 test cases writing is somehow decreasing the performance of your system, right? Just because this can be done in single test case, right? How we can run that single test case 50 times, but this will take time. This will decrease the performance of the system, right? So slowing down the system, and this will take time. So both are not working properly. So we will write a test case, single test case, and we will run this one time. I will run this one time, but internally this will be running 50 times, right? One test case you have to run one time, internally it will work 50 times, right? So see how, suppose in your excel sheets thousands of credentials need to be checked, so manually it's not possible, right? Running 1000 times a test case is not possible, right? But I will write a test case which will run 100,000 times, but I have to run it one time. See how it's possible. Come to this, just create a package. See, 2 or 1 or 2 days ago I have sent a link, or Sumit has sent a link of 2D array, right? So I hope you guys gone through with that. If not, then no worries. Suppose I have a method void. I have 2D string array. What does it mean? That array is size 3 and 3 and 2 size, right? What does it first column means? It means you have 0, 1 and 2. There are 3 indexes, right? And inside every index you have 2 values, right? So 0th index has 2 values. One is username and one is password that I will be putting here. First index also have two values, username and password. Second index have also username and password. This way 2D array works, right? So first index have two values, zeroth index has two values, and second index has two values, right? So I have to assign user and name and password for everyone. First of all, I am telling about the this 2D array. Okay, so I have to store username and password. Zeroth index, zeroth value. What will it will be? First username. Suppose this is credential for first username. Username for first user, and then zeroth index first value, and second value you can say first pass, right? Whatever you want to do. So this is one data set with two values, right? So this information about two users, right? Similarly, we have also another one. First index have also two values. Second user, and password for second pass, right? And also we have third credential, third user, and third pass, right? So these are three data sets, right? So similarly, suppose we have 50 data sets. So we have, suppose we get this data from Excel sheet and we stored here, right? Now I have to return this. This is 2D array, so I have to write in this way. Okay. Now return this. Okay. Now see, here we have to give this at the rate data provider annotation, and there is another method at the rate test void verify. Here we will write the logic for verifying the credential, right? See, once you will run this test using your test.ng file or directly running it, first of all this at the rate test will be executed, right? Then how this method will know that it should get data from where, right? How this method will know that it has some data and get it? After this at the rate test annotation, you have to give that information here, data provider, and inside this you have to pass the method name. Now when you run this file, it will first come to this position and check that okay, this depends on data provider annotation and it has method name with credentials, right? So it will be going, and first time it will be getting this data, right? Second time it will be getting this data, and third time getting this data. And here we have to write a logic to verify the credentials, right? So how will you get all these values one by one? These are two sets, right? So the in format of string, so you have to define string username and password here. right? Now it will get username and password. Number of argument depends upon this, right? So there are two number of or two size of 2 here in second column. So it means that you have to grab three values here, two values here, right? And if you have given 3 here, so you have to define three values here. Suppose I want to get email, then I will define email here for each and every data set, and then we'll be getting here and matching username, password and email, right? So from where we want to match, right? So I will print only here, right? Username and sys out password. So first time what will happen, it will come here and it will know that a data provider annotations is there in picture. So first time it will go right into this method, it came here, right? And it will collect the first information and going back to here, putting here values one by one and printing them. Suppose you wanted to write a logic to match the data from some source, either the database, either the Excel file, then you have to write logic here, right? I will run this. See, first of all, see this test run 3, right? What does it mean? It means that we have written only one test, right? This will be behaving as a test case because at the rate test annotation is used, right? So this test run 3 times. It means that this data provider annotations is providing data in 3 steps, right? So first time it's running for this, and second time for second credential, third time for third credential. One by one, first of all it printed username and first password, then second time second username and second password, third time third username and third password, right? So this way this data provider annotation works. Anybody wants to ask anything? Anybody is in doubt? And where we use it, when we have to work with data, with the Excel side, with the database, with the properties file, then we use this, right? We have to be knowledge of this. Every time writing 50 test cases, running a single test case 50 times is not a good choice, right? So we will run single test case, run that single time, and it will be internally running 50 times, right? Suppose we have to test 50 credentials for amazon.com, then here we will first launch the Amazon, right? And then we'll go to login page, and then first time we'll be putting username and password there and hitting on enter. If the credentials are correct, then it will be going to dashboard, right? So we will get something from dashboard, and if we are getting that, this means my test case passed, right? Second time when it will collect second data set, right? Again launch the browser, because browser written code written here. Again it will launch the browser, and again it will perform same task. Third time it will again come, again launch the browser, and again. It means that this test case is running as much data sets you have times, right? If you have 50 data sets, then it will run 50 times. So we don't need to run manually 50 times. This saves our time. We don't need to write 50 test cases. This saves our performance. This is about data provider annotations, and this was the one of the most important topic in the test ng. So today we finished the test ng, but as I say after every topic, that there is a never ending of any topic, neither the Java, neither the Selenium, neither the TestNG. Day by day, technology is enhancing itself, right? So developers of the Selenium day by day working in the Selenium. Developers are TestNG is also working. So you have this website, TestNG official website, right? testng.org. So if you want to learn more, you can go to this website and explore your knowledge, right? So you will see that many topics which are documentation you have to read, right? So see, this much course, this much data you have to read out, right? So there is never ending of any topics. This totally depends on you, how much you want to explore as per your requirement, right? So we start from a base and finish it at level, but you should increase your knowledge day by day, right? So I will paste this URL and I will suggest you to follow the official URL, because what happens, before 2.5 years ago, when I started working with the TestNG, before that I was working with the JUnit. So many things which explained in some website, like we have 2 or 3 popular website, the tutorials point, softwaretestinghelp.com, right? So these are websites which they have written some articles about the TestNG, but sometimes those article confuses us, right? We don't know exact behavior of the functionality, right? This we will learn after we will going to official website. They say whatever is appropriate, right? Whatever is correct, but and these people are responsible for giving the right information, right? But other websites you cannot trust, right? Because as per my, suppose I will start writing some blog about the TestNG, so I will write as per my knowledge, right? I will not write those points where I am also confused, right? So these people normally does, right? So just follow the official website. Why I am recommending this? Because this is written in a very simple way, right? And they will not confuse you. So just follow this, because TestNG is the most popular framework, right? Not only for Java people, or for any technology people. If you are going to learn tomorrow the API automation, if you are going to learn tomorrow APM, then TestNG is common in every place, right? If you are going to work with the protector, then TestNG is common is everywhere. Selenium code will be changed to APM code, right? API automation will be Selenium code will be converted to that API automation. It have something different code, right? But TestNG code is common to everywhere. So I say that common topics you have to learn very carefully, so that you can apply everywhere. This saves time also. Okay. So thank you for attending today's session and have a nice day. Yeah, yeah.